What's up, guys? Four Wheeler Doctor back again. Funny t-shirt for the day. That's a good one. Today, I'm going to see if I can flip this camera around real quick. We're working on a 2003 Rancher 350. This is a two-wheel drive model, electric shift, as you can see there. It's got a pretty bad smoking issue, and I believe it's going to need a crankshaft. It's got a little bit of a knock to the bottom end. Needs a couple other things, but we're just going to do the engine removal in this video. Just like I normally do, I will do a removal video, a teardown video, and a put back together video. I thought I'd done one on one of these 350 Ranchers by now, but I haven't. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that done today, or at least get the motor pulled off, and show y'all how to do it. So I'm gonna start off by getting all this plastic off of it. We've got to get these floorboards off here and here. The two 10mm bolts here and all these push pins around here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these side pieces off because you need to get the gas tank off so you can get to the top of the motor. So we'll pull this plastic piece off, this piece, like I say, these on this side, same thing with the other side. This bike is a little bit easier than the four-wheel drive model because we won't be sliding the differential forward. We should be able to just slide the motor forward to get the rear diff out, or get the rear drive shaft off, and then be able to slide the motor out. But starting off, we're just going to get these plastics off. So let me get it tore down, and I'll cut the camera back on once I get them off and show you what the next step is. Alright guys, also pulled the inner fenders out of here too. Just had one bolt, a couple push pins holding those in. Gets everything out of the way there. Got this top piece off here around the battery. This is the battery here. This is the fuel tank. It's actually missing a bolt here. Got one 10mm here and two 10mm under the front there. Pull those off, and it helps if you pull this snorkel off here. As you can see, this probably was some of the problem. You can see all the mud and stuff around here. That snorkel boot is not even in the airbox, so that will allow mud and everything to go into the airbox, and then that winds up getting into the motor. And see, it don't even have a air filter, and the box is cracked. So this has just got every problem you could possibly have to get contaminants in your oil, and I'm sure that's what happened the way this thing's smoking. So pull those three 10mm out to get the gas tank out, and then we'll be there on the top end of the motor. I'll cut the camera back on once I get all that done. Also, one other thing, I've had a couple questions about getting these little push pins out here. I got a couple tools I use. One of the best ones, I think, and the most inexpensive that anybody could find is this little fork tool here. This is actually I think it's called a tack remover or brad remover. This is made by Husky, so I think I actually got this from Home Depot, and it fits these little push pins just perfect. You can kind of pry it out like that. See how it comes out. The other thing I have, and I ain't got a clue where I got this from, but if you happen to see one or know where you can get one from, actually leave me a link in the comments if you happen to see it. But this is some kind of, I think this is for an automotive application for pulling these things out. It's got two little ears on it there that actually will get up under that push pin, and what you can do is pry down on it, and then I usually back on it like that and pull it. It pulls the whole thing out, and that makes getting these push pins out, which can sometimes be pretty tough, very easy. So this tool here is like a couple bucks. I don't know what these pliers cost, but like I said, somebody gave them to me. They work perfect. Alright, just wanted to add that little tidbit information. Let me get the gas tank off this thing. One other thing I forgot about getting this gas tank off is you got to get this petcock extension off. It's actually a Phillips screw. Stick it way up in there and hold on to your petcock and twist that thing out, and it'll come out. Mine didn't actually have to hold the petcock, so loosen that up, and don't lose this bolt because it's kind of a little bit of odd thread. See how it just fell on the floor? So I got to find that, and I usually keep it in this little extension. That makes it a little easier to keep up with. So all right, just wanted to add that to it. All right guys, next thing we need to take off are these 8mm bolts right here and here that hold the carburetor boot to the engine. So we'll pull those two off. Also, while I'm here, go ahead and pull those two 12mm off here that hold your exhaust on. And then flip to the other side, and I'm going to take the 14 millimeters off here. This is the top engine mount, and the two 12 millimeters here that hold that engine mount to the head. I'm going to pull all those off, and that should loosen up everything on the top end of the engine, and I'll cut the camera back on the next step. Alright guys, we got about everything unbolted on the top end here. One thing that you will need to remove, in this case it wasn't on this bike, but either take this 10 millimeter nut out here or the bolt in the back to disconnect the air box from your engine crankcase down there. Alright, next thing we're going to take off is these two oil cooler lines, the 10 millimeter bolts, one here and one over there on the other side. You can just let those hang down. And also, while I'm on this side, there is a clamp. This boot is in horrible shape, but there's a clamp on here. Has a Allen head, like a hose type clamp. There it is right there. Actually, you can't see it because it's covered in mud. You need to remove that so that the boot will disconnect from the motor. And also on this side, you'll need to take off these two 12 millimeter bolts. You can just loosen these up. It's just a pinch clamp that holds the exhaust on. So pull those or loosen those two up and remove this front exhaust manifold here, pipe, whatever you want to call it. And that'll pretty much free everything up on this side. Then we'll jump to the other side and remove the electrical connectors, unhook the electric shift stuff, which you won't have to worry about if you have a foot shift model. And got a ground wire over there to take loose, the crankcase vent, and then we'll start taking these motor mounts off and be able to pull this thing out. So let me get all this stuff over here on this side loose, and I will cut the camera back on when we get to the other side. Alright guys, I got everything loose on the other side, well, exception of the spark plug wire. Won't come out with that on there. I did end up having to remove the exhaust to get that exhaust pipe off of there. The exhaust is just two 12 millimeter bolts. The exhaust slides off really, or the muffler slides off real easy, and then the you can pull that tube out fairly easy after that. Just bolted the muffler back up just so I wouldn't lose it. Alright, now on this side, we're going to work on getting some of these electrical connectors loose, and start off with here on the front with the electric shift. Again, if you got a foot shift model, you won't have to do this, but they actually have some reusable zip ties or cable ties, whatever you call these. So you can just pull the little tab up on those. This one's caked up with mud a little bit, but you pull the tab up, pull up on the tie, and it will loosen up. It's fairly tough to do with one hand. So with that, there's one tie here and one tie here, and then you follow those wires up, and one of these wires will have a connector on it. Actually, it'll be the wires for the shift motor here. It's a round white connector. I believe that's it right there. Just lift up on the tab, slide the two connectors apart. The other connector you'll have to disconnect over here is the angle sensor, which is right here. It has a tab you push down. Most of the time you can get to it without taking this guard off. Sometimes you do. It's according on how much mud's caked in that connector. So I'll get that off. And then back here on the back, the connectors you'll need to remove. Well, we're going to leave the carburetor on there so you won't have to worry about the carburetor heater. I actually had already disconnected the speed sensor. It hooks into here, and pretty much just a tab you push down to disconnect it. And then on around here in the back, you've got this round connector here to remove. Lift up on that tab and slide it out. There again, it's a lot easier with two hands. This connector here will have to come loose. It's got a little bit of a trick to it. You could not get this thing disconnected. Well, you can, but you'll mangle it up without removing it from the frame. There's a little tab on the back that it's held onto. You have to remove this from the frame before it will actually disconnect. There's actually, that tab slides through a kind of a lock in here, so that will not come apart unless you remove it from the frame through the little tab on the back. So get that one loose, get this one loose. The last one is this. This is actually a temperature sensor. Runs in the bottom of the engine. It just pulls right apart. Get that one out, and then I'm going to remove these motor mounts, 14 millimeters. On on both sides. Go ahead and pull those completely loose. We'll still have the reverse cable attached, as well as this ground wire and the battery wire. It makes it a little easier if you take those motor mounts loose and slide the motor forward, and you can get to those bolts pretty easy. So let me get all that loose and I'll cut the camera back on. Alright guys, we got the motor mounts loose on this thing. What I normally try to do is just slide the engine forward a little bit so you can get in here and get the rest of these cables and wires loose. First one you want to get off is this crankcase vent right here. Just got a little spring clip on it. Wiggle it around, it'll come off. Next thing is these ground wires. Some of these bikes have two ground wires that go to two separate bolts. This one here has both the wires connected together on one bolt. So just take that out. A little bit tight getting in there, so I found the 1/4 inch drive works pretty good with that. So see if I can get it out there real quick. It ain't coming very quick. Alright, so the next one get out will be the power wire on the starter. It's also a 10 millimeter. Since this doesn't have, or it runs through the solenoid first, you don't have to worry about touching anything metal because it doesn't actually have power running through it now. So the easiest way to do that, you need to hold on to the wire, because you don't want that whole stud to rotate while you're turning the nut. So just hold on to the wire, break it loose, and then you can usually spin it off with your hand, just like this. There's that wire. I'll stick the nut back on there just so I don't lose it. Alright, so that would be the ground. There's your starter wire. This other wire here is for that speed sensor. And the only other thing remaining is this wire down here, which is the reverse safety lever. I'm going to see if I can pick the engine up and kind of tilt it forward so I can get that safety lever off. Also, while you're picking it up, make sure that your drive shaft over here slides off of your output shaft. See if I can catch it with a screwdriver. So I got the boot already loose, did that earlier. Just catch that joint in there, slide it back some. Usually if you get it started sliding, it'll come on back. And I'm going to pick this engine up and scoot it forward just a little bit. Like that, so our drive shaft's off. Knock everything off there. Alright, so now what we're trying to do is get to this reverse safety lever. I got it twisted around here now. It's right in here. 10 millimeter bolt holds it in there. Actually, this might be a nut. Let me see. Yeah, this model's got a actually has a 10 millimeter nut on it, and there'll be a washer on there too with that little reverse arm on it. So there's your nut, there's the washer, and just wiggle that little arm back and forth. Sometimes you have to pry it to pull it off. I normally just keep it attached to the cable. You slide that cable back, there's a notch in the bracket and it comes off. You can see the end of the arm there. So that should be everything, exception of that ground wire. I haven't got it all the way off there yet, but it's coming. Do it with my hand. Try to do it with my hand. The way I normally do, I normally try to pull these out on this left side of the bike, because you don't have to mess with the brake cable or the brake lever. It doesn't get in your way if you come off this left side. And about the easiest way, you can't just slide this thing out of there because the head sticks up in between the frame. So about the easiest thing to do is rotate it clockwise, make the bottom of it come out first. This bolt here is about 6 miles long. There you go. Ended up getting it out. Alright, so let me pull the camera back a little bit. Hopefully I can stay out of the way of it so you can see me pull it out of here. Alright, so like I said, rotate it clockwise. Get this bottom to come out first. Kind of lay it over on its side. Just like that. Make sure all your wires is sliding out with it. And pull it on out. Well, it doesn't look like I ever got the, well, I got the shift motor on loose, but I didn't ever get the wire fished all the way out of here. It's hung right there. Alright, so there it is. See if you can see what's going on here. Pick it on up. Sit it down on the ground. There you go. All there is to taking the motor out of a 350 Rancher. It ain't too bad to do. I'm going to do another video of tearing this thing down, and then I'll do one of putting it back together. So y'all check out my other videos, hit the like button, subscribe. Have a good day.